Yep. Hey, Shalom. Shalom. Okay, we good. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, see how the Taza Pod got out. But hey, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Akim Odell, who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in the gospel. And it's a couple brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad, and as always, we got the beloved Elder Taza Pie as well. And let me bring him back in. All right, Khan, you back on?
Khan, Shalom.
Khan, Shalom. And we got the Elder Taza Pie as well. And and the Wadi How Bashim Al Shah for blessing us with another opportunity, to come and bring forth this news, man. News, information, or as we call it in our circle, prophecy, which is the main thing that's popping right now, the main thing that's happening right now. And it's a lot that's going on, as you see from the title. It says Thursday Live, the effects of war, collapse, and confusion. And you see the flags from America, Israel, and Iran. That's the hot topic right now. But what could that war, and it could be a rumor, it's not a rumor, but this war, what events could it lead to? Of course, this is building blocks to World War III itself, right? But what else could this lead to? A whole lot. A whole lot, including the digital system, famines, the economic collapse, gas, oil prices skyrocketing, hard times, man, and that's exactly what we need. It's exactly what we need. Shalom Tala Akim Akwath that's tuning in. Yahweh Shemal Shah Brakathum. But if you had anything other times of part of
Yes. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. So what it's saying in verse 20, for the creature was made subject to vanity, meaning we was clothed in this flesh, all right? And this flesh subjects us to going off, all right? Paul spoke about that in detail in Romans, the previous chapter, Romans chapter 7, where he said, oh wretched man that I am. Where is that? Yeah, Romans 7 and 24. Oh wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? All right. And he said, in the previous verse, I thank God. Well, the verse after, verse 25. I thank Yahweh through Yahweh Shah Mashiach, our Lord. So then, with the mind, I myself serve the law of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, but with the flesh, the law of sin. So this is what subjects us to vanity. The flesh, which is subject to the law of sin. All right, so back at Romans 8 and 20, it says, for the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who had subjected the same in hope. So the Heavenly Father subjected us into a hopeless situation of being in this flesh, so that he would later bring us hope through his only begotten Son, all right, and our faith in him. So we're here at this point. And verse 21 says, because the creature itself, us, we're the creature, also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption, this flesh. This is what we're looking for. This is why the whole world is in panic. They're anxious. They're depressed. They're nervous. They're frightened. We're excited. You know, we're in joy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Because this is the end of all of this corruption. Well, this is how it ends. All right. Yeah, it's going to be rough, you know, but it's got to happen. For this to end, we got to go through that straight. So it says, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. All right. Let me read 23. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. All right. And we're closer now than ever before.
That's right.
You know, yeah, it's exciting, man. We just shed this corruption and put on incorruption. And ain't nobody gonna, none of these heathens, we don't be bothered by a heathen ever again. We don't never get another raw deal. Have to worry about getting ripped off. Have to worry about getting scammed. You don't have to worry about getting robbed.
Right.
You know? So, but yeah, we close. We are close. So I didn't want to hold it up, brother. But yeah, the whole creation is ready for this. All creation is ready for this. What's happening in Iran. All right. And so how much more we that gave our lives up to become a living sacrifice and to suffer, you know, which all Jake is suffering, but we suffer for Mashiach's sake. All right, because we want to shed this corruption. We want to see glory. We want to receive glory. But go ahead, brother.
And that's it. I got a quick one and we can hop straight into it. This Revelation 12:12, the house scripture. I read the KJV. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. And like Elder Tyler Power was saying, we should be rejoicing now more than ever. Remember, this is something that the prophets been waiting for, right? The righteous of our forefathers, the righteous of Israel, to see these heathens fall, and for us to finally come into our rightful spot, right? And the thing is, we know that before Esau fall is a few things that had to happen. And one of them was him being exposed. We've been seeing that happen for the past couple of years, man, really since Elder Abba Bivens and the fathers. We've been seeing that, but it got more purified and he became more exposed as we get here to the end. But the point is that it said, I'm gonna read this again, Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. But woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. But going back to that, we do have a reason to rejoice, though. Think about the few things that had to happen before we can get out of here, right? Esau getting exposed. I'm talking about the ones considering Esau. Esau getting exposed, and then MOTB and
his exposure really accelerated with the juice and the shutdown.
That's right.
Because people was coming, you know, man, people was doing some leg work. They was shut down. They couldn't go nowhere. So, you know, some people was bugging out, going crazy. Some people was doing research on all this shit. And you know, with things coming out, what's that? Psalm 49:11, I believe, with that tongue falling on themselves, them Edomites were bringing out a lot. But then when this Epstein shit hit this year, last year, yeah, it was this year. Man, time moving fast, but that further exposed and showed who these people are. That's, you know, right. But go ahead,
and now you on point. And going into that, the show we at the end, the three things that Esau was accompanied with at the end was one, him being exposed first, and through him being exposed, he was going to bring a MOTB right at the end, and he was going to begin World War III. And the very events that we needed to happen to begin World War III, as it says, the least of the flock shall draw them out. We seeing that play out. Like in real life time, we seeing that play out. So all the things that we was waiting on is happening. And this war, and again, this war, this is, is a Kickstarter, right? It ain't the main one. It's a Kickstarter because the effects from this gonna trigger a lot of other things, man. Even the people don't think about it like that, and shout out to Elder Riala and Elder Raquel Kwam. I was watching a video, but people think it's just war, war and fighting. But this very war that's happening can trigger the digital system coming, the economy crashing, and that's what we see as the prophets. All these different things that can happen just from Iran, Israel, and America beefing right now in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But Revelation 12:12, I read the NLT. It says, "Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and ye and you who live in the heavens rejoice." So we have a reason to rejoice too. It says, "But terror," right? "But terror will come on the earth and the sea, for the devil," which is Esau Edom, "for the devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has a little time." A little time for what? A little time to rule. Esau got a short time to rule, and he know it. And that's why he about to move the way he move in the earth. A lot of things about to be forced, right? A lot of things about to be fake, right? A lot of things, like it said in Job, what it is, 2021, the Lord gonna make it straight. Or also Job 18, they don't agree on a lot of things. So a lot of moves Esau about to make, it really probably wasn't even a part of their plans. They just doing stuff now. They just trying stuff. Right, but we'll go ahead and get into these videos. You had anything else at the Taza Pa?
Yep, that's it. Let's get into it.
We'll get into it, right? Because a lot is being said, a lot is fake news, and especially if you watch, man, look, I watched a 3-minute video yesterday from Fox News. Now Fox News, they team Trump. You see, they team Trump and they team MAGA. They all with it. There's a lot of false information being put out there. And it's a lot of real information being put out there, right? But like I was watching Fox News yesterday, and it was like, man, it was crazy. I told my wife, I was like, man, everything they just said was completely false. Because we've been hearing the stories how America and Israel, they lacking right now, or eventually will lack on defensive missiles, right? The Iron Dome to protect themselves. But when you watch Fox News, they was like, oh yeah, because Iran, they struggling, they ain't got no more drones, no more missiles, and we got everything, and we powered up, and we got, like, man, that's good. That's the opposite, right?
Same shit Hegseth talking about, the same shit Trump saying, same shit Rubio saying. They all look their line. And Small Hat Press, or the government rather, will not allow the press to put anything negative against them in the news. But go ahead, brother.
So like I see how the actual, I'm gonna post a video. I'm laughing at his wallpaper. God,
what do you say?
Nah, it's just his wallpaper that U.S. Marine who got his arm broke. Let me see.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you see at the bottom of my screen as his face. That's the
yeah, I didn't get to see it yet.
Yeah, but what was oh yeah, so look, a lot is happening, right? So we're gonna play a few videos before we get into Israel, Iran, and America at it again. They moving across the world, they're going somewhere else. So you had Venezuela a couple months ago, or weeks ago. You had Greenland, they was threatened. Colombia, Cuba, Mexico was threatened. It was somewhere else. But now you got
now they in Ecuador.
Now they in Ecuador. You see, and it's that video you sent me earlier, the Taza Pa, and now Esau in Ecuador. Do this not fulfill Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter? The wicked who is going to go across the world just taking and pillaging everything. This is the so-called
right. I believe Ecuador, they are in agreement. So I believe they working something out. But yeah, I have to look more into that situation. This just I just learned about this yesterday. But go ahead.
We'll play a little bit of it, and again, Esau here use these smaller nations and tell them, look, we'll protect you. Just let us, do what we got to do. And ultimately, Esau go drain their resources if he was going to stay there that long, but drain their resources, eventually oppress the people, or at this time we in, just use that location as a strategy for placing himself for World War III.
Yeah.
But it says 10 hours ago, Trump administration launches U.S. military operation in Ecuador from Al Jazeera.
The US has opened a campaign on another front against Ecuadorian drug cartels. The country's become a hub for moving cocaine to the US and Europe. In video released from the US Southern Command, this helicopter appears to be picking up soldiers during this long-running operation. US authorities didn't confirm to us if the country's troops actively participated or just advised Ecuadorian special forces. These joint operations really mark the expansion of the US's efforts to stop drug trafficking from South America. This administration has spent the past 6 months blowing up boats in the Caribbean, alleging that they carry drugs from Venezuela. Now it's in Ecuador too.
You see, so now they're in Ecuador too, and we'll see what comes from that, right? Now we can hop into this.
No, he did say a joint effort. So go ahead.
And now we can hop into this information with the ongoing war, Iran, Israel, and America. Now we got this video we'll go ahead and play. It's from Redacted, and this was put out 2 days ago. And the title says, "There is no plan. Bombing Iran has been a disaster." And we just gonna let this play a while. It's not a long video, it's 12 minutes. If you got anything on the top of Pop, Baba Gashad, let me know.
Yeah, I just say I don't know nobody that's saying it's not a disaster. I mean, Scott Ritter, Colonel Douglas McGregor, Gerald Celente, Judge Napolitano, Apostle Tahar, everybody saying this is a goddamn travesty and a shame.
Yep, Jimmy Dore.
But this is that shameful spewing on his glory. Because once upon a time, he could go and end the war in one day. He could start some shit and end it within a week. But yeah, now the weak have rose up and said, now I am strong.
Ooh, gotcha.
And America is losing strength. But yeah, brother, hey, it's getting good. It's like a good soap opera. You know, a good man. You can't write a movie this good. This some good stuff. But go ahead, brother. Yep. Oh, it's getting good.
It's getting good. That's how we are. It's getting good. But I got a quick one just to back you up, because this is what we see.
Yeah, let's go.
And this end time prophecy. This is Joel 3 and verse 9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men." See, a lot of these nations had to be woke up, right? Like Ishmael.
Yeah.
You know, they mighty, they warriors, they wild men. I say that they wild men at heart, but they've been docile, right? They had to wake up.
You said that.
You see all these Arabian nations.
Yeah, when they killed Hermione, they stirred up something in the people. But you right on, brother. Go ahead. Yep.
You know what just hit me? I think it's 2 Esdras 15 or 16. If a brother want to put it, but it says how the wild men of Arabia or the Carmenians, how they go remember themselves, right? They go wake up and see what's going on, man. You know, wake up and smell a coffee, right? But now everybody waking up and seeing, man, the so-called white man, mainly by way of America and Israel, the small hats, people ain't with y'all. The people really see what y'all about, man. And you only bring just death, war, disease, and that's it. Right? So now since and you know what? People not just realizing it, people have been seeing it, which is why Russia have been preparing missiles. China have been preparing missiles. Nations been getting themselves ready, but now they see the benefit of been preparing, right? And as they was preparing to go to war, you got it?
No, you got it. You got it.
Can I just about say, and think about over these past couple of years, because America been living up that high since World War II, pretty much. All these other nations been preparing since then for the next thing. America been living off that high of that since then. Only been getting into entertainment, making money, just the debauchery we see going on in America. They haven't been worried about no war. They haven't been worried about getting military right for the next world's war, but the nations have. Now we here. In 2026 AD, now we here, and we see the outcome of it. And we gonna read that. The nations becoming strong while America have been stagnant, man. Still living off that World War II, 1982, that Uncle Sam, I want you spirit. They still living off that. It's over with. So like it. Joel 3:9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. And a lot of nations, look, yeah, they care about the agriculture, the building up of the economies. Yeah, they do. But now what's the main focus? Military. They beefing up the military. You got it.
But you saying that, that's why China is low-key in the war for their economy. They're trying to protect their economic interests. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants it. But why is it happening? Prophecy. The Most High got them snakes hell-bent on a greater Israel project that's going to get them destroyed. And that's why I say, shall make their habitations desolate with them. When you read, I believe that's Jeremiah 49, but I'll get it later. Go ahead.
God. And it's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. When you read the scriptures, read about the accounts and the history of our forefathers. For example, Haman during the time of Esther and them, how he was so gung-ho and trying to force his plan, force his agenda. He almost was close, but then it backfired, right?
Yep.
And you see Esau, it's a storyline of him trying to force things in the scripture and it backfired. It's amazing how we living in real life time. And we know the end game, we know the outcome. And we know what Esau's supposed to do, and it's beautiful to Wadi Bashim al-Shah, because we seeing himself trying to force him the establishment of a new world order and him to conquer the nations, even at his last. At the end, he's still trying to conquer. We see how this going to backfire, and that's the beauty of all this, man. In these next videos we're going to play, they going to agree with the scriptures. America and Israel will not win this war. This is the beginning. When you really think about this, them going to war with Iran, this is literally the beginning of the end for the so-called white man. This kick-started it. This kick-started it. But it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, Joel 3:9, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say, I am strong. Now we see a nation, Iran. Again, America and Israel, they got Iran holding his own. How much more when Russia come? How much more when China come? These nations tired of the so-called white man. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, and thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, and let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there, and we see the nations gathering over there. And there's going to be more nations gathering if the Strait of Hormuz closed. It says, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. We right there, man. Come on.
Man, come. Yeah, they sick of Esau, bro. The whole world's sick of Esau. And that's why he say, fuck it, I'm going for it. Y'all, well, we know y'all don't like us and we don't like y'all. Fuck it. And that's the spirit he need to be in. The ethics spirit. This is Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he had purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. And this is what we're seeing. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. And this is what we're seeing. So the least of the flock is drawing Babylon, the Chaldeans, out to make them desolate. How? Through this third woe. And this is what they're doing. We're going to get into the news. but we got to lay the spiritual foundation right now. But
Mhm.
it's all, we're going to get it out the news. All right, but we're going to filter it through scripture. But you got it out.
Yep, this is how we feel right here.
What are you doing? Just play with him. Come on, push the button. Yeah, come on, push the button. Call everybody up. Yeah, call everybody up. Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Yeah, come on with it, Esau. Stop all that playing, man. Push the button.
Yeah, quit bull calling.
Right, what you waiting on?
Man,
Or like
right.
like Deion Sanders say, quit bull jobbing.
Bull jiving, yeah. My old man would say bull calling.
But yeah, let's hop into it. And these videos we play is the kind of the heart, you know, the lesson. But we gonna have articles after this to kind of build up on this what we add on. But before we get it, I get a precept real quick because brothers put that in the chat. And the water, I can this Yahweh the brother Yahweh then Barra, 2nd Ezra 15 and 30. It says also the Carmanians raging in wrath, and that's Iran, the Persians. It says Carmanians raging in wrath shall go
Yeah,
forth.
the Carmanians, right. But the Arabs, that's not the Iranians.
Kind
Right. But yeah, you got it out.
of says go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join in battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the lands. I think I'm reading it. I might have to just get it. Let me see. All right, verse 31, it says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand. This is the point, remembering their nature, because Iran go, you know, eventually be a part of that. But these you know, the
Right.
Palestinians, you know, the Arabs, you know, a lot of these people go remember their nature. Even Turkey, remember Turkey go hop in there. Erdogan he feels some type of way right now. They're
Right.
part of that.
Elder Yashawamba, well, he did something on that. I got to watch it. I ain't seen it yet. I think he did something on Turkey. But yeah, I got to look into that. I got to see what he was going into. But right, yeah. For those who may not know, the Ishmaelites biblically are the Elamites. All right. The Arabs are the Ishmaelites. The Ishmaelites are, you know, some of them, as the brother just mentioned, some of those Palestinians, that's the UAE, that's Saudi Arabia, Oman, all throughout there, the Yemen. I don't know if Yemen, but that's the dragons of Arabia. That's the Ishmaelites.
That's right.
Them Gulf nations. But yeah, you got it out.
Yeah, even that, because you know, you got right now like certain Arabian nations, they with America going, you know, right now. But as I say right here, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. So the Lord eventually go turn everybody against the so-called white man, as the Bible say. And let's see why. Against Edom, the Edomites, man. Mainly American and small hats. And why? Look at what they're doing in the earth. Now we see why Bible prophecy is what it is. But let's go ahead and play it. This is from Redacted. It says, there is no plan. Bombing Iran has been a disaster.
Footage from Tel Aviv, and I was speaking to sources in Tel Aviv who were showing me videos outside of their freaking window of what they were seeing, but you won't see this on Fox News at all. This is Tel Aviv. You know, of course, buildings being blown up, direct hits right next to City Hall. But why is Fox News, do you think, not really covering any of this damage in Tel Aviv, Colonel?
Well, look, I just saw a few minutes ago a interview with Keith Kellogg on Fox News, and they were asking him about it.
And if y'all in the chat, if y'all can let me know if the audio is too fast, right? If it's too fast, I got it on 1.25. Let me know.
I think it was a Wall Street Journal report that said that we're going to have to do something pretty quick because we're going to run out.
Tel Aviv. You know, of course, buildings being blown up, direct hits right next to City Hall. But why is Fox News, do you think, not really covering any of this damage in Tel Aviv, Colonel?
Well, look, I just saw a few minutes ago a interview with Keith Kellogg on Fox News, and they were asking him about I think it was a Wall Street Journal report that said that we're going to have to do something pretty quick because we're going to run out of interceptor missiles. We don't have enough to sustain this over this 4 to 5 week period that President Trump talked about. And he says, no, that's not the case. No problem at all. We obviously wouldn't have ordered something like this. Our commander wouldn't have ordered something like this unless he knew we had enough missiles in the stockpile. And in any case, we can get some from our allies if we need to. And I was just thinking, look, UAE, according to Bloomberg, has said that they've got about a week left of interceptor missiles, and they're going to run out, and they're not even the primary target.
Right.
We're seeing, you just showed a video there of even what we have. It's these missiles that are coming in from Iran are just going through it like a sieve. And now that we may run out completely, and then that's something I think you and I talked about before. We had a limited number of interceptor missiles because we've given so many to Israel over the last 2.5 years and to Ukraine over the previous 4 years, and our inventory was already low. This is why I have been warning so emphatically for so long that these wars are making our own national security at higher risk. And now you're seeing it play out before your eyes, but it could get a lot worse because now there's nowhere else to get missiles from. And we can't make them fast enough. And if we keep going on with this fiction that we're going to win something here and we use all the rest of we have, our entire national security across our global requirements will be put at greater risk. And that is something that should be, it should never get to that point.
Now, I'm going to pause it right there. We're going to keep playing it, but this is an ongoing thing that people have been saying. Right, like Scott Ritter, Conor McGregor, that America since Ukraine, remember America thought they was Oprah. You get one, you get a missile, you get a defense system, throwing everything out, giving all their stuff out. Yep. Ukraine, all these years to Israel to defend themselves in the East, as they would call it, right? Middle East. Now it's to the point to where, and it's so beautiful how the Lord had Iran play this out, because America and Israel, they thought that it was gonna be the same as like a Venezuela, go and take over it quick and
Right.
they just and fall and give up.
Thinking. Yep. And you're right. And they figured they'll do another Soleimani. We're gonna hit the head and let chaos ensue, and let them deal with that. That will satisfy Israel, and I don't even believe the U.S. want this war.
They don't.
This is all small hat. So I think Trump figured he could satisfy Israel if he because they done took out all the generals for the most part. So I think he thought he could appease Netanyahu by taking out Khamenei, Ali, the Ayatollah, Ali Khamenei, take him out, and they could avoid, the war for a few more months, at least going into strikes for a few more months. And it backfired because, as you just said, that stirred up not only the Khameneans, but them dragons, because Israel been striking their shit. The different, I don't know what they call them. I just say refineries, Salakia, for my lack of knowledge on that. But they struck Aramco. Well, everybody's saying the small hats, took out Aramco, which was I believe one of the Saudis oil producing companies. And so this is stirring up the Ishmaelites because they want a greater Israel. They don't want nobody in that region but them. So they stirring, kicking up all kind of dust. But yeah, brother, you just had put that on my mind, Salaki. I didn't really mean to, cut your thought process. But
now
go
you
ahead.
good. Now you good. You good. But we'll go ahead and play it. I forget. But no, that's it. You made the point. Let's go ahead and play it though.
National security less more vulnerable and putting us at higher risk. And now you're seeing it play out before your eyes, but it could get a lot worse because now there's nowhere else to get missiles from. And
that's another thing, because America said the other day, I forget who it was, but he said, oh, if we need more help, we could just go to our allies and get more stuff from them. But then I think in this video, they're going to make the point, well, all American allies, they trust in NATO and America for help. So where else you
Yeah.
gonna go? And everybody else saying shit, we ain't got nothing either. So really,
Yeah.
we seeing the weakening of America by little old Iran and back and forth. And that's what I was saying. And the beautiful thing
Yeah,
about
about
Iran is
Venezuela. Yeah.
yep, con. And the beautiful thing about how Iran been doing it, they've been shooting off, as they said, all the old missiles. Just like back then, what, a couple months ago, when they shot off all them slow missiles, and people were saying, man, they shot off slow missiles, and Israel, Iron Dome, was able to intercept everything. I ran back door and said, well, no shit. We did it on purpose. So now we know where your interceptors coming from. You see?
Yeah.
So you shot these little slow missiles off, just glide in the sky, and now we know where your interceptors coming from. But the same thing in this time, Iran came out and said, we used all our old missiles and y'all been shooting down all our old missiles. Y'all ain't even see nothing yet. Y'all ain't even see the new stuff yet. So while America and Israel, they don't know if they can continue this, because Trump, they may think this far into it, him and Pete Hegseth, they ain't think this far into it, now they stuck in it. They've been drugged into war by the small head.
Right. Because that's what you were saying. They thought it was going to be a Venezuela and just go in and come out. But yeah, the Most High putting spirit on these heathens. All right. See, they knew, and what it's looking like, that curse is ending. That you know, if anybody take vengeance on Lamech 70 times 7, and just, you know, spiritually inbred in us, we all knew that you can't touch no white boy. Ain't nobody had to tell you that. You just instinctively, that was inbred in you, that you don't fuck with the white man. But I think the Heavenly Father is lifting that, and they don't care no more. But that go into what we bring out every week. People gonna take the course of their actions in their own hands, because, right, they're not worried about what repercussions or fallout is gonna come from getting their hands around the neck, the red neck of an Edomite. People don't care no more, because what's the alternative? Living in hell? No, just go and take me out. I take one of you out, and then y'all take me out. I want to get out of here. People don't want to be here no more. And in the spirit, that's why I started with Romans 8. Creation don't want to be here no more. But this devil got to go. He's the problem. This man oppressed the trees. How you oppress a tree? This man done oppressed water.
Man.
Yeah, he done oppressed the world and all the creation. And you can't have that much bad karma and think you're going to thrive. This man got bad karma, for lack of a better term. Everybody got negative toward this man. You know, I hate to be in that position. But go ahead, you got it, Salaki.
Right. No, you good. We're gonna play this video, but just to show the weak becoming strong, because what have America always done? If sending an economic hitman into your nation first to try to bribe you and then sneak people into the cabinet, if that didn't work, they was go demonize the leader of that nation and try to tell the people of that nation, we had to liberate you and help you, go to war with that certain nation, and then take the leader out who was against the American and a new Western world regime, kill him and put somebody who with it, a puppet leader, and then take over the nation like that. Or they'll send ground troops in doing that. The point is now, this is what we are now. This, what I'm saying, is going to lead into these two videos I'm going to play real quick. After America usually bomb people, next they're sending ground troops.
Yep.
So the talk is now, since we seeing what y'all doing with Iran and working, y'all gonna send ground troops.
Yep.
We're gonna play that, but let's see how Iran respond, because they're gonna be like, shit, we waiting on it pretty much. And a dude gonna put a smirk on his face. Nobody afraid of America no more, man. Come on, man. You ain't the same. Salaki, let me go ahead. Hold on. Let me replay this.
That's Fox.
Yeah, it's Fox.
Okay, Alex said before, Alex Jones said before they story came out that he broke it first.
Mm.
That the U.S. has troops on the ground in North Iran, some scouts and some Green Berets. Now you could find that on We Are Change. But yeah, Alex went into it Tuesday, and he said everybody giving Fox the credit, but I don't know, but right, just the news in itself, it's boots on the ground. Yeah, we in the third wall. But go ahead,
reporters that the regime is ready for a possible U.S. ground invasion.
Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
And if you had any doubt,
just to show you them boys ready. And another thing I seen, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna play these videos. There's so much as to add on to it. But the thing is that if America, straight up, he smirked, he laughed at that. That man laughed at you. Look, the thing is, and what they've been saying is that if American troops was to put boots on the ground in Iran, they ain't ready for that because of the terrain of Iran, the mountainous regions, and just the Americans ain't ready. And you probably gonna have Americans doing TikToks in the middle of them moving between the mountains, and girl, I'm tired. Niggas out there, man, they not ready for that. These people ain't ready. But we're gonna go ahead and play that. We're gonna go ahead and play it how America and Israel will eventually lose it. Either way, it's gonna end up they lost, man.
And I was just thinking, look, UAE, according to Bloomberg, has said that they've got about a week left of interceptor missiles, and they're going to run out, and they're not even the primary target.
Right.
We're seeing, you just showed a video there of even what we have. It's these missiles that are coming in from Iran are just going through it like a sieve. And now that we may run out completely, and that's something I think you and I have talked about before. We had a limited number of interceptor missiles because we've given so many to Israel over the last 2.5 years and to Ukraine over the previous 4 years. And our inventory was already low. This is why I have been warning so emphatically for so long that these wars are making our own national security less more vulnerable and putting us at higher risk. And now you're seeing it play out before your eyes, but it could get a lot worse because now there's nowhere else to get missiles from. And we can't make them fast enough. And if we keep going on with this fiction that we're going to win something here and we use all the rest of what we have, our entire national security across our global requirements will be put at greater risk. And that is something that should be, it should never get to that point.
Now, some of the propaganda is, oh, Europe is mobilizing. Oh, we've got France. We've got Greece. They don't have a major army other than NATO-funded armies. So do you think that Iran would be quaking in their boots that, uh-oh, here comes Greece?
Yeah, I'm thinking that the mighty Greece armed forces is not exactly going to cause a lot of trepidation in Tehran when the U.S. and Israeli armed forces together are not causing them to quake. Look, this onslaught is a tremendous amount of combat power, and for all the videos you were showing there in Tel Aviv, there's just as many in Tehran, in some of the other cities, in Qom, and in several other places throughout the country. They are getting just pummeled and hammered because a lot of our stuff's getting through as well. But the fact is, they knew this was coming, and they have calculated, and they signaled this ahead of time, that they felt that it is less risky to have a war with the United States and Israel than it was to submit again, because otherwise it was going to eventually get to that point to where they would be destroyed anyway. And
see, that's the mindset of nations now. They said Iran was like, shit, we might as well go to war with America instead of laying down and just lose our land. We're going to fight. But I don't know if y'all seen this, and I wish I would have had it up, Salakia, but it's been shown that Iran been shooting missiles. And when I seen this video, the first thing I thought about, like, man, it's the work of the Lord. You know how usually you'll see a silo, on earth or on the back of a truck or even in the ground sometimes. But I seen a video of Iran shooting missiles literally from the ground, and you ain't even see like a door move or a mechanism move to open up the ground. It just shot out. It's crazy. I'm sure they had it, but you didn't even see it to show you how hidden away and stealth that the Lord got these things. When the Lord want these missiles to fire off, they're gonna fire off. Just shooting them from anywhere. And that's why America and Israel are having a hard time identifying them to destroy them. They don't know where they're coming from.
So they said, look, we're going to hit you back in the face and we're going to give you a bloody nose. We're going to give you a broken arm. And so far, that's exactly what they're doing. And the question is, this is all about missiles. It's not going to be about anybody's army or any ground force. There's no army involved here. This is all about missile forces and air defense missile forces. And it's a matter of who's got the most resources. And right now, I don't think we have enough air defense missiles. And I think that Iran does have enough offensive missiles to at least drag this out for multiple months longer than we can. This is probably not going to go like the Russia-Ukraine war where it can go on for years. This is probably something that could go on for weeks or many months potentially. And if it does, we're in a world of hurt because we can't drag it out that long, especially if they completely shut off the Strait of Hormuz, and they have it partially shut off now. The whole Western economy is going to be in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
Former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO, Admiral James Stavridis, am I saying that correctly? Says,
Yes.
as both the U.S. and Israel expend hundreds of precision weapons from JDAMs to Tomahawks to Patriots, it is time to start focusing on logistics. How deep are the stockpiles? In wars, the true professionals are ultimately the logisticians. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's time to start focusing on logistics.
Right.
Look, Clayton, this should have been done way back in the planning stage, when the first day you ever got together in the tank or wherever they did this in the Pentagon or wherever. That should have been job number one. You should have had all these charts and said, all right, here's how much our inventories that we have, the classified numbers. Here's what we think it would take to accomplish the objectives, the political objectives that the president wants. And here's how much time we think it would take to get that. And then you say, do the ways and the means match? Can we get this done? The answer would clearly have been known, because the only way it's a yes, and it looks to me like this is what we are literally gambling everything on. You think that you've bought into the rhetoric that they were saying before this, that the Iranian regime is like a house of cards. It's never been weaker than it is whole 47 years than it is right now. So you go and you throw a few missiles down, they collapse, they fall, game over, and yay, we win, we come out easy victory. That's, I think, the only way that you could say that we're going to take this action here, because if they did the normal thing, which is to not collapse, because with no threat of a ground force like there was in Iraq in 2003, then the only thing you have is missiles. And we clearly did not have enough offensive missiles in a country 4 times bigger than the country of Iraq to bomb them into the Stone Age. Just consider this, so important here. The tiny little Gaza Strip that Israel had complete mastery over for 2.5 years have literally turned it into a moonscape, and they still have not brought into submission the Palestinian people and Hamas, even Hamas in this tiny little enclave. Now imagine in a country the size of Iran that you're going to expect them to collapse overnight when almost nobody else does that in history. The Houthis didn't do it, Hamas didn't do it, Hezbollah didn't even do it, even with all the damage they've caused. And you think that Iran is going to do that? And yet we have gambled everything, and now we're on a course to where we are using all these JDAMs, all these precision munitions, the air defense missiles, and there's no path to get out now. So this is a huge blunder of enormous proportions.
Now,
You see that? And again, watch that whole video. It's only 12 minutes, but it's some good stuff. We stopped around 6:40, 41. You got it.
Yeah, a huge blunder. All right, and that's the video I had mentioned in my video where they was kind of making fun of Trump because he didn't do any pre-war pre-bellum, if you will, logistics. All right, which means he didn't count the cost. All right, so Luke 14 and 31 says, or what king going to make war against another king, sit it not down first and consult it, whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000. All right, so they having a controversy about the missiles. You're supposed to know what's in your arsenal. All right, but they underestimated Iran. Is what happened. But get this, or else, while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an embassage and desired conditions of peace. And that's what happened. The U.S. and Israel asked for a ceasefire, and Iran declined. You know, because they did not count the cost of this. All right. And so, right, they was asking for a ceasefire, and it's obviously for that same reason that they running low on ammunition. And shit, Iran is just firing. They just steady firing. And As the priest Karat Bar said, you know, they ain't got to their newer missiles. You know, they just getting rid of the old, you know, the old stuff. But right, see, this is you don't get around scripture. I don't care who the hell you think you are. You don't get around scripture, especially with bravado, ego, and all of this arrogance. No, you don't. That's why when the Lord Himself come, every knee shall bow, and every tongue will confess. Because you don't get around scripture. All right. And that's what Esau is trying to do in all of this. He's trying to get around scripture. He's trying to beat prophecy. He's trying to get out of his judgment. But if a great people as us, and even the Lord said, if I punish my people, who the hell are you to think you're not going to get punished? So go ahead.
Now that's it. So we're going to go ahead and play this one from Scott Ritter. There's only 6 minutes, so we're going to play the whole thing. That's from the Jimmy Dore show. And the title, this was put out 2 days ago. The title is The U.S., United States, Can't Win This War. And here's why, with Scott Ritter.
The United States is about to be defeated in the Middle East by Iran. We are not going to achieve our objectives. We're going to be humiliated.
So knowing Europe's leaders, even being plunged into an energy crisis such as this, will continue sticking dogmatically to their self-destructive foreign policy and will refuse to allow Russia energy.
I just got to say this, because if for us in the know, man, we have to know the end game and what's written. Because I know a lot of us probably on social media, you know, the shade room, we've been seeing things, how Trump and America been killing all these Iranians, and Iran only killed 6, right? And Trump destroying all the ships in the ocean, and Iran ain't do nothing. And a lot of people say, oh, Trump a YN, and Trump really him. You see America really, they got pictures of the AI pictures of Trump with a girl looking like Paul Wall. You know, the thing is that know the end game. Even if we see it look like America and Israel getting down, right? If it look like they winning, know the end game. You see, like we know it's not gonna go out how they planning on it too. We have to know the end game. What prophecy say, man? The Lord, again, when you have the bully, the him, usually the bully seem like he go win at the beginning, but it's always that underdog story. America is not gonna win this whole thing. So what we talking about, what the Lord got us talking about, and these other people that we highlighting, and what they saying, this is what it is. I don't care what they putting on American news, what they gonna feed you, because they're not feeding you. I'm gonna say that I seen another video earlier. Israel have been getting bombarded with missiles. They've been getting their ass towed up. Yep. But even a woman on America, Fox News, she said, I would show the video. She said, I would show the video, but Israel don't want us to show the videos of what's going on. They can't. Yep.
They can't.
They don't want to. They don't want Israel. They don't want the damage that little old Iran is doing to Israel to get out there. You see? And America can't really, you know, they don't want that to get out there. But the point is, I don't care how good America seem like they're doing, Israel seem like they're doing, and what's going on. We have to know these people gonna lose, man. No prophecy. Understand the end game. Salaki, that was it, though.
Yep.
Exports to Europe to start again. Do you have any predictions on that? I mean, I understand that Europe is acting like psychopaths, just as much as the Biden administration and the Trump administration. They're actually doing these self-inflicted wounds left and right. The Nord Stream pipeline was a self-inflicted wound on the European economy, and now they have one more pipeline open. Do you think they'll continue to shoot themselves in the foot or in the head by denying the Russian energy to Europe? What do you think?
Well, I think there's some steps that have to take place before they'll turn on Nord Stream. But the first step is that Europe is going to come to grips with the fact that the United States is no longer the global superpower that it claims to be. The United States is about to be defeated in the Middle East by Iran. We are not going to achieve our objectives. We're going to be humiliated. We're going to run out of ammunition, and we're going to have to seek a devastating conditions of ceasefire. Because what will happen when we run out of ammunition is that Iran will continue to launch missiles, and we have no defense. And so not only will over $100 billion of U.S. military infrastructure in the Middle East be destroyed. But Israel will, be fundamentally destroyed as well. The United States, in order to bring an end to this conflict, will have to agree to terms such as they are going to leave the Middle East. And when the United States leaves the Middle East, Europe is one of the nations that have benefited from the American security umbrella, and Europe will have to do a massive recalculation about where its security interests lie, and Europe is not capable of securing itself. So rather than confronting Russia, they will have to learn to live peacefully with Russia, and one of the ways you live peacefully with Russia is to trade with Russia, and the best and the most economically beneficial trade would be to resume the purchase of Russian energy, and the most efficient and fastest way to do that is to turn on the Nord Stream pipeline. So I think that, yes, the Nord Stream pipeline is going to be turned on sooner rather than later. I also think that the people who are going to make that decision in Europe aren't going to be named Merz, Macron, Starmer, Ursula von der Leyen, and others, because they will have no credibility shortly. They will be held accountable for the economic collapse of Europe, and they will be removed. And there will be a new generation of political leaders who be more inclined to look out for what's best for Europe, and what's best for Europe is to purchase Russian gas at a very reasonable price.
So do you, am I hearing things, or are you saying that in a weird way, this big mistake that Trump is doing and Israel are doing, this is could result actually in a weird, after this, the world gets set on fire, that there will actually pull out of the Middle East, and there'll be more stability in Europe with Russia and the Middle East? Do you think that's possibly the end of this?
Either the United States wins, and right now I don't see a path towards victory, and they collapse the Iranian regime and they achieve the outcome they're desiring, or we run out of ammunition and we lose. And we know right now Donald Trump has acknowledged that the original time frame of this conflict is no longer realistic. But the first thing he said is, we have enough ammunition. But the ammunition he's going to source comes from around the world, meaning we're going to draw down on the Pacific. What's that say about our ability to have a military overmatch with China?
So Trump was saying, like, we ain't got to worry about ammunition. We'll just get it globally from our allies and help. But they ain't got it either. Nobody really got it, and you ain't producing nothing like that. So if you going back and forth with little Iran, how much more with Russia and China? Different story.
Also drawn down in Europe, and we don't have enough ammunition. Iran has planned this campaign out brilliantly. They can outlast us, and when we lose, one of the conditions that Iran has already made clear is that for the Gulf Arab nations to have normal relations with Iran, they must cease their cooperation with the United States. If they don't, then they will die. They will be destroyed. And we've already talked about how that can happen, simply blowing up pipelines, blowing up gas terminals, and that's the end of their economies. None of these sheiks want to, they won't survive that. The people will rise up and they'll be dragged through the streets and hacked to death. That's what happens to Middle East kings who lose faith in the people. And so these we already hear the United Arab Emirates talking about the United States needs to get out. And you're going to hear other nations say the same thing, especially when it becomes clear that the infrastructure the United States had in those nations had been destroyed. And the only way the United States could return is by rebuilding this infrastructure. And they can't do that if they just lost this conflict. So yes, I'm saying that one of the things that could happen with this conflict is that the United States will be compelled to leave the Middle East, stop viewing it as its personal military-dominated stomping grounds, and force the nations of the Persian Gulf to learn to live together in peace and harmony. And you know what? It was China that came in and brokered a rapprochement between Saudi Arabia and Iran. So we know it's possible if the United States just gets out of the way. And Israel cannot posture the way it currently postures without the backing of the United States. But if the United States is strategically defeated in the Middle East, as it appears we will be, then Israel will have to tone down its message as well. And then there's Europe. We're speaking of the economic collapse of Europe, which will lead to the political collapse of the ruling elite, which will lead to a new class of politicians who may very well realize that they have to live in peace with Russia. And the conflict in Ukraine will end on terms favorable to Russia. And guess what? Peace will be breaking out all over, because the number one impediment to global peace is the United States. And when you remove the United States from the equation, good things can happen.
Woo, that's it. Remove the United States away from the equation and good things will happen. Everybody's saying that now. Everybody want that now. You got somebody else, Pa?
Yeah, because he said the U.S., but he need to learn the name and the term Esau. Because it's Esau that we need to get rid of. It ain't the U.S. But the Lord will destroy Babylon, which is the U.S. All right. Now this is Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. All right. And they and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. All right. This red horse represents Edom. All right. The Edomites, the so-called white people. So as long as y'all in power, there's gonna be war, uprising, uproars, rumors of wars, conflicts, and all of this confusion it's gotta be there. All right. It's not just America. All right. And we're really seeing this more Israel, you know, the people that's over there in that land, the Amalekites. All right. That's who we're dealing with, the Amalekites of the scriptures. Now you got clips of Netanyahu calling Iran Amalekites because they claiming to be us. So they say Iran is the Amalekite. Well, you know, trying to project that on them, not directly saying it, but you know, they putting it out there and saying that this is a holy war that must be fought. And they invoking the names of our ancestors, the Maccabees, all right, and going into our history to do this fucking wickedness, invoking the name of righteous men doing righteous things to commit this fucking wickedness. And they're gonna have a very, very high price to pay when the Lord come back, all right? Because you the goddamn devil, just be the goddamn devil. Quit making up all these narratives, lying on our history, on our name, on our identities. Just do your shit in your fucking name, you fucking devil. Do shit in the name of Edom. But that's all right. All right? Because we gonna reclaim everything that was taken from us. And you devils will be put in your goddamn place.
That's right.
When thus said Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah. Go ahead,
Nah, that's it. And as you see, everybody, like I said in Obadiah 1, man, the world was going to start to despise the so-called white man. You know, not just the people who he oppressed, you know, who waking up to who he really, but everybody was going to despise the so-called white man in the world because look what he have done. He's the cause for everything wrong in the earth. So now you see as Esau, mainly Trump in America and the small hats moving across the world, you know, trying to dominate the world as they once did, but it ain't working no more. And now they're trying to rely on their allies, but you have such, as it said in Revelation 17, Obadiah 1, your allies will go turn on you, man. Now you have Spain, who is a part of the beast. Spain is a part of the beast, NATO and EU. Spain is a part of NATO and the EU, and is a part of the foundation of Edomite rule in the earth, one of the 7 heads. And look what they got to say. It says, this is put out yesterday. It says, no to war. Spain rebukes Trump's trade threats, refuses to aid Iran conflict. They said, we not with it. Find somebody else to play with.
Actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it.
And you see the part of Trump, he said, oh, Spain don't want us to use their bases. We ain't worried about them. We could really fly in and use everything we want in Spain if we really wanted to, but we ain't got to. So you see how you talking to his allies? No respect. You got it, Salagi.
Yeah, none. No, that's what I'm saying. Shit. Own your devil ship. Own it. God damn it, y'all out of time. You know, that's how y'all gonna go out tiptoeing, go out stomping. You know, but go ahead.
And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it, but we don't have to. But they were unfriendly, and as you know, they were the only country that in NATO would not agree to go up to 5%. I don't think they want to agreed to go up to anything. They wanted to keep it at 2%, and they don't pay the 2%. So we're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain.
La posición del gobierno.
So Trump said because Spain don't want us to use their bases, he went in to threaten them and talking stuff about them and said, well, they don't even pay their percent anyway to NATO. So in other words, why they here? So and Spain go fire back, and pretty much we ain't worried about it. We ain't with it.
De España se resume en 4 palabras: no a la guerra.
That's it. No to war. We ain't with it. We still ain't with it. Right? And you see a lot of people turning away from America and Israel. Now, we ain't gonna play this video, but all these articles and videos that we touching on is in the description box. We're not gonna play this one. We was, but we not. We're gonna move on. But this one is from World Affairs and Context. It says, Michael Hudson, Trump's Middle East oil war will collapse the dollar system. And that's something else we seeing, right? You have a lot of oil reserves that's being struck. You got the UAE and Saudi Arabia, they having to close certain oil reserves. And we're going to touch on some information here in a few, but Iran with the Strait of Hormuz, that's going to also cause a big collapse. So with this war, again, it ain't just fighting and missiles and drones and blowing up, right? This also going to drive, what's the effects of it? Is going to be towards World War III, but it's going to drive this digital economy closer than what it is now, because a lot of things going to cease from the old way of doing things, and it's going to bring more hard times, man. 2 Esdras 15. But let's go ahead and go to this article, continuing on. Like, nobody feeling America. It ain't just Spain, but you also got Turkey. It says, how is Turkey responding to the U.S., Israel, and Iran war? Right? Now, check this out. Now, Turkey is part of NATO. And it says, where is that? It says right here, since war began on Saturday, Ankara has been seeking containment over a protracted military confrontation with unknown outcomes. Analysts and officials say, right? It says already surrounded by, so this Turkey standpoint, it says already, and see, man, this is what Bible prophecy is so important. Turkey have something to say now, but we know the end game. Turkey, according to Ezekiel 38, eventually is going to be things like this that drive them closer to agreeing and being on Russia and China's side. This is one of them. Turkey was named in Ezekiel 38 to join with Russia. It says, already surrounded by Ukraine, Syria, and Iraq, it does not need another destabilized neighbor. Turkey does not want, this is what they said, Turkey does not want any conflict in the region. A senior Turkish official told The National on condition of anonymity. Yeah, anonymity. Yeah, that was one for me right there at the water. It says anonymity. He described the U.S. Yeah, I froze. It says he described the U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iran as completely illegal and illegitimate. Turkey is not a party to these conflicts and is not pleased with them. We ain't with it. So you see some of America, those who was once allied to America in its current system, they said they denouncing it. We not with it. We don't agree with it. And then also you have China. It says, put out today, End Time Headlines, China, it says top Chinese official condemns Operation Epic Fury, in which, you've been having the apostles, elders touch on that. That's Trump and them coming down in Iran, Epic Fury. It says, and warns of great alliance. What'd you say?
Having great wrath. Epic Fury.
Great wrath. Yep. And you notice Trump always the president that brings such things as this Epic Fury and Operation Warp Speed. It's always Trump.
That last strike on Iran was Midnight Hammer. Operation Midnight Hammer. He's in the scripture, the hammer of the earth.
Come on. Can I read a little bit?
And you were speaking about the just quickly the death of the dollar, right? The Gulf Arab nations, they are the what would you call it? They are the support for the petrodollar. They're under attack. Right? All of this spells out a new economy coming. All right. With Israel attacking those countries, they're attacking the dollar. Because they the ones been supporting it for the past 50 plus years. They the ones been supporting the world reserve currency with their oil. All right. And if they're under attack, right, you're gonna see the world value of money go down. Well, you're gonna see inflation. But the money is being devalued. The oil is getting scarce, supply and demand. All right. The supply is going to dwindle. Because as you mentioned, the Strait of Hormuz, which is a corridor for 20% of global oil. All right, 20%, 1/5 of global oil come through there. And they've effectively shut that down for everybody but China. All right, so that restricts supply. So that raises demand. The raising demand raises price. So it's going to get bad. And at the same time, these companies, a lot of companies, is laying off and cutting hours. So it's a crisis brewing. All right. On top of the crisis is the crisis is, all right, plural, that we already are undergoing. It's going to get bad in America.
That's right.
You know, for this. And with things getting bad, the solution is going to be, hey, we got this chip with the 2000 attached to it, or whatever, however they're going to, so they're going to make it sweet for you, a gift destroyed the heart. You know, or they just going to put so much hell on you till you're going to beg for it yourself. But it is coming, this MOTB, all right, mark of the beast. It's coming. You got it, brother. Go ahead.
Now I got a quick one. And it's beautiful you went into that about the things that could happen. So I got this real quick on ChatGPT, right? And I asked it to ChatGPT earlier, and I also got a precept, you know, our second house scripture on a Thursday live, 2 Esdras 15, because what's written in here, what Ezra seen and was told, was that when these nations begin to start World War III, that was going to be the same time they was going to fight to be leaders of the new world, right? So again, at the same time, we're going to read it in a few, but that's what we're seeing. According to Esdras, it says that when the nations was going to get close and begin to fight World War III, at that same time, they was going to try to see who was going to be the leader of the new world, and in them going to war, the last war, in the nations, fighting to see who going to be the leader of the new world. Things was going to get hard for each economy, and that's when people was going to lose their mind. That's what we seeing right here. We're going to read it here in a few, but that's exactly what we seeing. World War III is here. The nation's fighting to see who going to be the leader of the new world, and in that, economy's got to change. Hard times coming, and that's what's going to make the people revolt. Before I get to that precept, I want to read this real quick. I typed it on ChatGPT, right? I says the Strait of Hormuz. Well, they ain't got it up here. Matter of fact, that's what I typed in. I said, what's the importance of the Strait of Hormuz, and what would happen globally if it was shut off? So it says the Strait of Hormuz is one of the Strait of Hormuz, Iran is currently over or occupying it, right? And with this war, they have the ability to close it or open it. Let's see the benefits or effects this can have. It was open or shut, right? It says the Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important choke points in the world for oil and global trade. It's a narrow waterway, but I gotta get it so we can give visuals, right? Just so we know what we're looking at. Let's go to Google. I hate when they go to Bing.com. Google.
I got one that I can see, and it's showing the traffic and how they shut it down. It's showing how it was at first, the flow of ships, and then how it is now.
I just want to give them a visual so they know where it's at.
Right.
This is not a good one. So right here, right? Come on, man. So you see it's the world map. It's the world map. You got Africa right here. You got Saudi Arabia right here. Now, when you zoom in, now you got the Red Sea, right? You see over here to the left, you got the Red Sea. There's Israel over here, where a mouse at. Israel, you got the Red Sea right here.
Can you go left a little bit?
I got you. Let me see.
Oh, okay. That's all right. But anyway, to your left,
let's zoom out.
Yeah, you got to zoom out. But yeah, to your left, where the brother was showing the Red Sea in Israel, to the left where you got Cyprus and over there, that's where the the USS Gerald R. Ford is. All right, over there in the Mediterranean Sea. And then you got the SS Abraham Lincoln that's down there in the Arabian Sea, where the brother is about to show, outside of the Strait of Hormuz. So that little island right there, that's Cyprus. But you got the U.S. got the air carrier Gerald R. Ford over there in that sea. So I just wanted to point that out.
So let's go over here, right? Now over here, zoom in a little more. So this the Red Sea, that's Saudi Arabia, and when you come in right here.
The Abraham Lincoln down up in there, outside of the strait. But yeah, that's it up in there.
I'm trying to see
where that little horn is right there.
Right there. You see? In my laptop. Okay, so right here. So you see Iran right here, the UAE right there, Qatar right there, this little point right here. All this is Iran. And so they gonna close down this. So what we about to read about, if they close down this little strait right here, this little point, this is what this is gonna affect. It says, why is it so important? Well, I'm gonna finish it. It says, it is a narrow waterway between Iran and Oman that connects the Persian Gulf, and that's the area of World War III, to the Gulf of Oman, and then out to the ocean, open ocean. It says, why is it so important? About 20% of the world's oil supply passes through this strait every day. Around 17 to 20 million barrels of oil per day move through it. Major oil exporters, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, UAE, and Qatar. It says it is also critical for LNG, which is liquefied natural gas. It says if the Strait of Hormuz was shut down, oil prices would jump and spike immediately. It would jump $150 to $300 per barrel very quickly. Gas prices worldwide will surge within days. And Trump even said, yeah, y'all gonna deal with high gas prices, but deal with it. Get over it.
Yeah, he showed
right?
It. Yeah.
Get over it. He's showing he the devil. He don't care. Come on, man, get over. Right, gas prices go up. It says next, global economic shock. So this war ain't just fighting and people dying. It could bring down an economy. It could restart an economy. Or it could be the additive to restart the economy. It says global economic shock. Countries that rely on imported oil, such as Europe and Asia, will be hit the hardest. Think about it, said Europe, even some Asia. That's American allies, which shows why they gonna be pissed off. It says shipping and manufacturing costs would spike. This could trigger a global recession and depression. Military conflict. And it goes into if they close it, America gonna move in. It says if Iran try to close it, the United States and allies would almost certainly intervene militarily to reopen it. Well, most stuff gonna happen. What's next? It says the stock markets would crash. And it's right, and it goes on. But it says the bottom line is if the Strait of Hormuz was shut down, it will likely trigger massive oil price spikes, global economic crisis, and possibly major war in the Middle East. Come on, man, it's fuel to the fire. And another thing it could trigger is talking about famines. You know, a lot of global supplies, food, fertilizer move through the Strait of Hormuz. So if that's shut off, guess what? It could bring higher prices on food, gas, everyday life.
Yes.
And again, we ain't gonna touch on all this, but it's in the chat if y'all want to check it out. You about to say something about Tazapar?
Yes. No, I was just agreeing. That's right.
Mm-hmm. And another thing this could trigger. This was put out yesterday from the People's Voice. It says the Mossad insider warns false FLAG in America worse than 9/11, and it will hand the small hats full control of the U.S. So look for things, false FLAGs, that's gonna be worse than 9/11. Just like they had to do last week talking about property of Allah, a big nigga, you know, a Hamite, you know, bald-headed Hamite, property of Allah. He supposedly shot up Austin, Texas. They're gonna start doing more things, right? That's why they're saying stay away from events, stay away from major events, stay away from major gatherings. Shit, if you out here in Houston, we was talking in our chat the other day. Hey, with this Houston rodeo, shit, it may be something happen at the Houston rodeo. That's a big event. But when the time to crisis is about to come, whether it's fake or whether it's real, things about to happen, man. All from this little war. Because America gonna say, well, Iran planned it, right? The insiders and sleeper cells. Watch out for these things. You got other types of power?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm sure you heard the news segment because, you know, with the guy in Austin, they was framing him as, you know, yeah, this could have been anybody, you know. He stayed to himself, didn't bother nobody. And then I got to thinking, you know, damn, when will my neighbors think about me? Because I stay to myself. I know they think I'm weird. You know, all this shit, bro, it's gonna get bad out here.
Right.
Because, you know, and that's in the scripture. People gonna start suspecting one another, looking at each other sideways and shit. But this is an environment that the fucking devil created. You know, he gets you on his job and got cameras all on you. Motherfucker, you the goddamn devil.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be watching you. He criminalizes everybody. And then, you know, it's no wonder that people behave criminally. But anyway, yeah, brother, it's getting close. You gonna play that video or?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. I want to bring out this precept in 2nd Esdras 15, and we can end off on that video. But that was it.
Cause you don't have to play that much of it. He just. But go ahead. We'll speak on it.
I just want to bring this out because remember, this is Bible prophecy. When these nations start World War III and also fight to see who gonna be leaders of the new world, that was gonna be the same time that chaos was going to ensue and people was gonna revolt. Same thing as saying Job. Let's read it. This 2nd Esdras. Now the header says the coming disasters. We here. 2nd Esdras 15 and verse 14 in the GNT. It says the world and the people in it are doomed. Same thing as Revelation 12 and 12. Woe to the earth and them that dwell therein. The world and the people in it are doomed. Check this out. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. What it's talking about? World War III. It says nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. We're seeing that right now. So that's one thing. They're getting ready for World War III. What was going to be the next thing we see? At the same time, see, this is what we know prophecy is short. We have a more short word. These three things is in the same verse, and we seeing it happen at the same time right now. What's one thing? World War III starting. The next thing, verse 16. And there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. And we always go into this. What's the legitimate government? The legitimate government is something that have been set into place, a set rule of laws, right? The Constitution, right? What's on the books, you know, what's written. The thing is, when you've been looking since Trump them got in office, this last time with Doge, Elon Musk may have no say-so, but they had a say-so. All these tech giants had a say-so. They said, forget the Constitution. We don't care about what's written. We come and do our own thing. And you've been seeing a lot of these nations been doing their own thing. Even Trump was talking about going to war with some nations that's a part of NATO. And when you go into NATO, if he was to do that, now what the other nations go do? Because if you attack one NATO member, you attack all. So if Trump was talking about, you know, going against, you know, Canada and all these different people, what would happen? Now y'all go attack America? See, so it's been a lot of confusion. They've been forgetting the laws, things that's written in treaties. Why? Because they racing to see who's going to be the head of a digital system of this new digital world. I'm going to read all this again. Because put it together. You got it. Advertiser Pop.
That video Shemawan posted, that's what they was going into. But it was a live stream, so you have to go back. But they was just talking about the digital system. They're talking about digital currency and all of that. This is their mindset. All right. War is just a means to implement this. And they don't care if everybody dies. They don't care. All right. They don't care you American. They don't care that you white. They don't care that you a white American. They do not care. All right. All that privilege y'all didn't enjoy it here in America. I saw a brother post a video earlier today with Jake was saying, how you notice? Is it just me or do y'all notice these? he said white people, they look, you know, depressed and discouraged. They look defeated, you know. And you see it in some of them. But some of them, they still, you know, enjoying, like life still goes on for some of them. You know, but here soon, everybody's gonna be feeling it, you know, in one way or another. But yeah, you got it out.
Now that's it. I'm gonna read these together because it was said that all these different events was gonna be a trickle down effect to add on to another. Let's read this again because are we not seeing this happening right now? 2nd Ezra 15 and 14 GNT. The world and the people in it are doomed. That's verse 14. Verse 15. The war, which is World War III, verse 15, the war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. We seeing that happen. The World War III portion, we seeing that happen, right? Next, verse 16, and there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control. They fighting for a digital system. It says, while ignoring the legitimate government. Forget the old way of doing things. This the new way, right? We going digital. So we see World War III taking place. And then at the same time, now what's happening, the nations go begin to start the digital system and to fight for the rule of it. And because those two things will ensue, verse 17, because of that, it says, and there will no longer be free access to the cities, because that's the reason why. Because the struggle for power, the struggle for who gonna be the new digital ruler, the struggle for who gonna win World War III, because World War III is beginning and the digital system is coming, that's gonna bring a strain to the economy. And that's verse 18 and 19. It says, because the struggle for power will, it says, because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live, driven by famine and terrible sufferings. People will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. because World War III starting and these nations rushing to see who's gonna be the leader of the new digital world. That's what's gonna make these people cause an uproar, right? That's gonna make these people fight back, because now time's about to get hard on the citizens because of the fight with these nations, man. And that's in the scriptures, and we seeing that play out. But we'll go ahead and play this video. This is it for the Thursday live. Now the elder not Taza Power, but the elder Atazaria out here in the Houston camp, he put this in our chat. This was 2 days ago. This is from Jay Reed. It says something big just happened in Texas and it's scary. You have anything before this, elder Taza Paul?
No, go ahead, brother. Get into
it. Have y'all heard about Project Matador? It's going to be the largest data center in the world, and it's going to be built in Amarillo, Texas. They've already approved the first phase. It's going to be 18 million square feet spread across 5,300 acres. That data center is going to use 5.5 million gallons of water every single day. 2 billion gallons of water a year. Amarillo doesn't want the damn thing because they think that it's going to dry their aquifer up. I guess we'll see. The damn thing is going to use so much electricity that you could power 8.2 million houses. 2 New York cities. They're going to build their own power plant. The name of the power plant is called the Hyper Grid. They've already made contracts with Hyundai to supply 4 nuclear reactors. They've already ordered 800 turbine generators from Siemens that puts out 62 megawatts of electricity each. And the rest is going to be solar, according to them. This damn data center is so big that it takes the common out of common sense. It's going to sap up all the resources in the area. It's going to create tens of thousands of jobs over the next few years. Are you going to be part of that project?
What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Bump the jobs. Who cares about the job? Like, this is huge. And I don't know why we're even talking about jobs. I know that's going to be the turning point on this whole video. People say, oh, it's creating jobs. If it's AI, trust me, yeah, it'll create jobs initially with building the thing, but over time, those jobs will be gone because it'll be fully automated. The fact that this one center, this massive center, probably I think it's going to be the largest data center in the entire globe, is going to soak up so much energy from the state of Texas, guys. I cannot make this up. But a lot of people supported this thing. I mean, it's ultimately about money, of course. It's how much money can you make, right? Because enough money isn't
thinking that Jake need to get into the scriptures because he don't know what's going on. But right, we understand this is for the MOTB. They said the largest in the world. All right, if they ever get it built. But I was mentioning crises a while ago. Yeah, add that to the mix. On top of, oil supplies being restricted, add higher, power bills. But we don't have to worry about it so much right now. Although, they are building smaller data centers and people's power prices are going up. But I could just imagine if they got that thing finished with these nuclear reactors and all of that, this man has to be stopped. They got all of Tesla's work. Why won't they get the energy out the sky like Tesla showed? Like they got all in all of his notes. Why they won't do what's right? Because it's not for them to do. They got to be taken up out of here. All right. But right, the whole purpose for that is for the support of the MOTB. All right. You just can't put a chip in people and then go on about your business. To do what they want to do, they want to track and trace and surveil. So that's, every second of the day, just one person, just imagine the data on one person. You tracking everything that he does for every second of every day. You're gonna need a lot of space to store all this. And then you add hundreds of millions of people. That's an astronomical amount of data. All right. And so you're gonna need these data centers to enforce what they want to do with this MOTB. So right, this is a step toward, and they're gonna move on these things while everybody is distracted with the conflict in Iran and all of this. They're gonna continue to build the infrastructure for this MOTB. And then you're gonna wake up one day to see the news, and you're gonna see that, oh, everybody getting chipped, and you got to come on down and get the chip because no more dollars. All right, they already show you the direction where we going. They didn't outlaw pennies. They're not gonna stop with pennies. All right, but yeah, that was pretty much the point, man. They moving forward with their enterprise.
That's right.
Of this one world order. All right, the war is just a means to submit this, to galvanize everything. If you watch Tucker Carlson, and he had Catherine Austin Fitts, she said Iran is the leakage that they need to stop up. All right, and she didn't go delve into that exactly what that leakage was, but as the brother saying, when you know the overall game plan of this, all right, Wesley Clark outlined, General Wesley Clark back in the day, the time of 2/11, he outlined 7 countries that had to be taken down. And when you look at those 7 countries, they didn't have central banks. And so that's the leakage that she's talking about, that they're outside, for the most part, of the control of the central banks. And for them to bring in this digital currency, everyone has to be on board. You can't have one country running rogue. Everybody has to be on board. So, and she said, that's Iran is in the picture now. They didn't got the other 6. And Iran is the last one left, the last man standing. So they, one way or the other, plan on making Iran comply, however that looks like, and whatever that looks like. All right. They trying to bring in the Kurds to combat the Armenians, well, them Iranians. They trying a number of different things because that what they thought, that they could just go in and power through this. You're not gonna power through, a nation that's backed by Russia and China. All right, they in BRICS, and I said long time ago. Yeah, it's an economic community, but that's a military bloc because they tied economically. If we business partners and we getting money, and you integral or an integral part of me getting money, then it's in my best interest to keep you healthy and safe. Make sure you good so that I can be good. Well, that's BRICS. They all are interdependent on one another. So if you think you could just attack one and the rest is going to sit there and say, oh, well, there go our oil supply. Damn. No, and they know how America is. Russia and China know how America is. So you know, it's been talks leading up to this, how we can handle this. If America do this, we got to come with that. And if they try this, we could go this route. You know, they've been counting the costs. But when you just used to deboing, you don't really count the cost. You think deboing is gonna work. But anyway, brother, yeah, that was it.
Nah, that was it. You could take us out. I had nothing else.
Okay, Con. Yeah, so this is a critical junction where we are. All right, all this must happen. So don't get discouraged. All right, you lose a job or whatever the shit. That comes with the kingdom. All right, catching hell comes with the kingdom. That's a lesson. All right, it's because we got to go through this hell. But right, Esau ain't losing sight. All right, of what he want to do. So we must not lose sight of what it is that we're here to do. So we're gonna keep pushing these prophecies. All right, we're gonna stay on our watch and keep watching, you know, and see what else develops. So the MOTB is somewhere in this mix. I'm just waiting for it to drop. How they, you know, gonna mandate it, because it's here. The infrastructure for that is here. It's all here. You know. But yeah, we're gonna end it right there. There's so much, you know, we can't unpack it all and just look. It's almost 2 hours been passed, and I feel like we just scratched the surface.
Yeah, we skipped a lot of stuff.
Say that again, I
said, yeah, we skipped a lot of stuff.
And then we skipped some. You know, it's so much, man. But you know, and I know y'all doing y'all research too and watching. Y'all on y'all watch. You know, and whatever, you know, that's what the comment board is for. If y'all got something to add to the lesson, we didn't get to the precepts, but you know, you brothers can chime in on the comment board, you know. But yeah, we're gonna end it right there. We pray that you all were edified, and we're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory again unto honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone, as well as the men that raised them up, and peace and blessings unto the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. So to the next one, y'all stay diligent, stay circumspect, and stay up. All right. Much love to the hopeful elect, and shalom.
Shalom. The water for tuning in.